Got this pulled up. Why is there a video pulled up? Welcome back to the Down with the Get Down podcast with your boy, your co-host, Robel.
Your boy Derek. That was so loud.
You weren't prepared.
No,
You always got to be prepared.
I was prepared. It was just really loud.
Hey, look, you heard me. You know that I told you when I walked in here. I said,
Oh yeah, you took some crack before you got in.
yeah, I had a little coffee. Now I'm drinking. I should have waited till the second one to sip this.
I thought you were gonna drink that when you were heading home.
Oh, it looked like it was gonna taste good, and it tastes fantastic. I just got put on to with the Celsius drinks, and these hoes are fire.
I've never had one.
It's supposed to be like the healthier version of like an energy drink. So it's not like it doesn't have. I've seen some bodybuilders, and I had a couple coworkers that told me about it, and they were like, it's pretty like calorie wise, and it's supposed to give you like enhanced energy and stuff like that. Metabolism, burns body fat, so it does all the good stuff as well as like keep you awake.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, let me try it. The first one I had was peach. This is tropical vibe. It's whole fire.
They got pineapple. I knew
They
it
did
was
not
gonna be
sponsor
good.
us, by the way. This is just me just being happy about it.
But sponsor us.
For sure. How you been living, my bro?
I'm good, man. I just my jaw hurts
Yeah.
because of all the injections they had to do for my root canal.
Yeah.
They did like 10 injections in my jaw, so like my jaw hurts. But other than that, I'm good.
Man, this talk. He's trying his best not to open his mouth as wide as he can.
Oh, if I yawn, it's gonna hurt.
Sheesh. Y'all just hear him scream in the middle of the podcast.
I just hope my jaw doesn't pop.
Well, I'll focus. I'll just make sure whenever you about to get to like a word, like what's a word where you have to open your mouth up all the way?
There isn't one. Actually.
Wow. Like just don't say wow.
You can say wow without opening your mouth up all the way.
Not the way I said wow.
I guess if you talk like a mouth breather, I guess you can open your mouth for every word.
I'm dead. Our stand-in engineer is trying to get our attention. Is everything right behind the camera?
Yeah, I forget to say wow at the same
I'm
time.
dead. All right. Wow.
Oh my gosh, they're so in sync.
Well, bro, we got some heavy things on the topics for this week for this one. So let's see. We have two recent people that have passed away, have died and moved on. The lady who was the accuser, it was a white woman who accused Emmett Till of touching her back in the day. So
I don't know who that is.
yeah. So the lady, you don't know who Emmett Till is?
Nope.
Okay, so Emmett Till was the boy that was back during I forgot which year it was, but it was like during those times in the early 1900s.
During the racist times.
Yeah, during the super racist times. So he got accused of whistling at a white woman. Like she came out and I guess
I know what you're talking about.
that's the
I never
boy.
knew his name.
Yeah. So he's the one that the lady got away. She got away, accused him. They, beat, tortured him, and then killed him, and then all that bad things happened. And so years later, people on the streets they've been trying to get her for years. And so she passed away recently.
Yeah.
I'll say that just not to be a evil person. R.I.P. to her, because you never know if you probably repented and went on with your life and did certain things and dealt with it, but she died of cancer. But I just want to know how their interaction is going to be like when she's gone. And then people are like, when she's gone and she walks up to the pearly gates, or if she walks up to the pearly gates, and then she's like, wow, here he is just waiting on her.
I'm sure he's probably forgiven her at this point.
I would hope.
He's in heaven. So
Yeah, I would think so. But the streets have not been forgiven.
I mean, so when she died, did she say that she lied?
She never, supposedly, I don't think she ever went back and addressed the situation. Like, they found out, like, years later that she lied, but, like, it was one of them things where...
I know, but, like, even with that, like, even if they're like, oh, yeah, well, she lied. Well, it's like, she didn't say that she lied. So, like, she can just keep denying it up until she died.
Oh, yeah, she was not taking accountability for that.
Yeah, so, like, until she died... she can just be like, yeah, no, he really did that to me and all this other stuff. And then as soon as she gets ready to die, she's like, yeah, I lied. Has no regrets. And then she just goes away.
Bro, I would be like, wow, all right.
That's the best time to air out all
just
your
admit
grievance.
everything.
Oh, of course, because you're dead. There's nothing that the living can do.
They can't do nothing to you at that point.
So you're straight. I mean, I don't really care, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it happened a long time ago, and like it's messed up, but
It's technically not even that long ago. Oh, she's died. She was like 88 when she passed away, so she wasn't. That shit wasn't that long ago.
that is long ago. I just want you to-
88.
How old are you?
I'm 25. So we're going on 25 in July.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
It's not a long time ago.
It is a long time ago. When I say a long time ago, which is what people need to understand, if you say a long time ago, it's more than 50 years ago. So that is a long time.
Well, okay, so I can agree with you. It's a long time ago. What defines a
What
long
some
time to where it affects people?
Well, I don't care about other people though.
That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about you, selfish Negro.
I'm talking about in general. I'm not talking about like I don't really care about. I'm talking about just specifically. It was a long time ago. People that care about it, I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
But like in general, it is a long time ago.
Yeah.
If people want to think a long time ago is like 100 years ago, then I mean it's almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean it's still a long time ago. It's more than 50 years. So I mean, it didn't happen to me.
Nigga, you need to do your history because that shit was really effectful for a lot of us.
But guess what? A lot of you, but not me.
I mean, yes, it is because the fact that she after he got beaten, and then the fact of after that, the mom instead of just burying her son like most people do, she decided to go ahead and open the casket and let people see what got done to him.
Yeah.
Because when they see it, it's like, all right, cool. And that marked the thing in history of where like they're like, oh, we're really seeing what people are doing. We're really seeing what's like what the racist people are taking and beating these young kids for no reason. And during that time. And so that's what that news headline went around the world. So that's why it became as big as it did. And then for her, like for years later, for the lady to get to this point, I can see why it's like when people like, damn, that was a long time ago. But then when you find out the lady just died like a couple days ago, you're like, shit.
I guess.
She was still around.
Because like my thing is I already knew all of that.
Yeah.
I just didn't know dude's name.
Yeah.
So like I knew all of that.
Yeah.
But like I just don't care. Like I genuinely don't care. Like she's dead. So
Yeah.
like
I mean, like as far as personal wise,
no,
yeah,
I mean like
yeah.
the whole like I thought she was dead before everybody said she was dead. So I mean, it doesn't really.
I thought she
bother
was
me.
too. I thought she been gone. I was like, oh yeah, well,
Because
shit.
when you told me that she was dead, I was like, I don't know who that is, but like, all right, and I just moved
Yeah.
on.
Nah, it was just one of them things where it was like, damn, we got evil folks still walking around like that some like shit that they got away with to this day. But it's very funny. It's very like humorous to when you hear about situations nowadays. Like we could say, what's that nigga name? Bill Cosby. We could say Bill Cosby. The shit he did happened such a long time ago.
But he was found innocent.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the fact that they still, even though they found him innocent, they still locked this nigga up at the old ass age.
Well, I mean, sure, you can get locked up for stuff like that, but I mean, what she did, no matter what race you are, as a woman, you never go to jail for that, which I think is wrong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I never expect anything to happen to her anyways, because any woman can accuse any man of doing anything like that, and nothing will happen. Even if they kill that guy, nothing will happen to her. So,
but yeah, that kind of brings around full circle that of when you're like, all right, cool. Obviously, it doesn't affect us personally, but then it also shows how misconstrued the justice system already is. Because you were like, you said it right there that it was wrong. You were like, it's wrong that she got away with this shit. And then years later, they'll sit here and lock up Bill Cosby for what he did, and we could say the same thing is time went on, whatever, didn't necessarily do this, but they still got him.
he's a guy. So, I mean, he's a man. So,
Yeah.
like, regardless of anything like that, he's a man. He's obviously going to get locked up no matter what. So, there's nothing he could do about it.
Yeah, this is a learning lesson. Well, it's not.
You can't really learn from that.
No, I'm talking about whoever. If anybody's listening to the point where it's like the government, the government ever taps into this,
They're going to lock us.
niggas lock me up. It'll be on my Muhammad Ali. All right.
I mean, because, like, the thing is, right?
Yeah.
even if the government was listening or whatever, which obviously they are, but
Always.
but I mean, it's something that will never change in our society because we don't genuinely care about like we don't really care about like normal justice, I guess. We only care about like people's perception of justice. So like anybody can accuse anybody of whatever, but if I accused you of like hitting me, nobody's gonna care because you hit me. You're a dude. But if a woman accused me of hitting her, then I'll go to jail. Even if when you hit me, I have marks on my body. If the same thing, vice versa, but it's a female, then I go to jail.
It kind of ties into that the Jonathan Majors updates that you were talking about that situation. Well, yeah,
So-
I was like, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, so it's not fully fleshed out yet because they haven't gone to trial yet. But there's videos of her like going to the club and everything like that after the situation, where there's no like real marks. And apparently, she said like I think her finger or her hand was broken.
Yeah, I
But
heard that part.
yeah, but the same hand that she said was broken, she's over here grabbing these drinks and popping them back and everything. But I mean, to me, also, they said the police coerced her into saying that he hit her.
Yeah, I did hear about that part too.
So even though she was like, nah, he didn't, and they're like, nah.
They saw
He
big
did
black
that
man.
shit.
They were just like, look.
They probably knew who he was.
They saw him. They were just like, that's the nigga that was out here punching folks.
They probably watched Creed and they're like, nah, we got to get him off the
They said
streets.
they were like, nah. They seen the way he fought in that movie, and they were just like, he's different. Take him out.
But yeah, I mean, in his thing or whatever, he called the police for her.
Yeah.
And he left. So like when they were in the Uber, taxi, whatever the hell they were in, they had their whole little scuffle. He got out and he left, and she went to the club, and then that's when this whole thing happened. And when she was all messed up, and he called the police for her, and then they were like, "He hurt you." To just say he did it, and
So
then,
so he grabbed his hand. Say it with me now.
he choked you, right?
He choked you, and
Yeah.
he hit you, right?
Oh, we got him.
Oh, and she's like, that's not, so he hit you. She's like, she's like, oh. She said she guessed.
She probably was like, yeah, we had like a fight. He's like, oh, he hit her. And that's what a lot of people like that just kind of like demonized dudes are kind of going off of, because like in her text, she was like, yeah, I know we had like a fight or whatever. And they're taking that as like, oh, they were physical. A fight can just be verbal. It doesn't have to be physical. So he's released. They're still trying to press charges. I don't know. She's not pressing charges.
That's the crazy part that I'm like she dropped everything, and it seemed like she's like, look, this wasn't the case. But you can also say that that's alleged as well, to like the same thing like the Tory Lanez Meg Stallion, where it was like she didn't want to do charges, and then they tried to say that somebody was coercing like her team.
I believe that she was. I believe like they did it to her because she was drunk.
Yeah,
So,
that's another thing I was thinking about. I was like, you could easily just tell her.
Yeah, because like I mean, if she's drunk and they're like trying to confuse her, trying to make her be like, yeah, he did this, and especially if she already had injuries and she don't remember, and she just remembers that they had an argument, like. I mean, you can say whatever, and she might believe it. And then after that, she drops the charges. And then probably when she sobered up, that's probably when she sent him the message and was like, I dropped the charges. You didn't hit me, all this other stuff,
Yeah. And then it's just, but then you got to think about where those officers, this is the devil's advocate part came in. I was like, I wonder what the officers like intentionally just being jackasses, or were they just, or what did they walk into it and see this lady with like her mascara running down? They just got into it or whatever, and they see this big dude, and they see this small woman, and then she's looking crazy, and they're like, oh, he had to do something. Oh, he had to do this.
They probably saw Ant-Man and saw him curving Scott
They
legs.
just saw the movie, and they see her the next day. They were like,
You just see him, bro. That curve stomp I've never seen in a superhero movie. Somebody curve stomp somebody that hard,
bro, he hit him
If we
so
can
hard.
find the clip, we need to put it in. But I
I saw that
mean,
exact scene, and then saw her the next day. It was like, I need to save you.
but where were they? New York, right?
I I believe. I don't remember where it was.
I don't remember either, but I just know, like, I mean, to me, it just feels like they knew who he was, and he's an up and coming huge star, and taking him to jail is a big boost in their cred.
Bro was like, "This is my time."
It's because I mean, it's really big news. And because some people are saying it's like a racial thing, and like it could be, but to me, I just feel like he's one of the highest up and coming stars, and to be the
person
people,
over that case,
he's just like, oh yeah, I'm him. So it could have been something like that, because I don't think we know the race of the police officers.
Nah. And the crazy part is probably if it's in New York, it might be mixed.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know who popped up in there.
Yeah, because the crazy thing too is like, they did that. She dropped the charges, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna keep the charges."
Excuse me?
we're gonna prosecute this man. And then people were talking about like his what is it, his legal team or whatever dropped him or whatever. And I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's kind of weird that they would do that because a lot of people are kind of like, there's be walking with you, so maybe they know something more. But I mean, given what his lawyer and everything put out, it just seems like they're just kind of trying to distance himself just in case, because he lost opportunities already just from this, because he lost his Army
the Army
commercial.
ad. It was a couple movies that he was on, something like that.
Yeah, and they might replace him for the MCU.
See, that's just wild.
Well, a lot of people are like, if you're not going to replace Ezra Miller, then you can't replace him. But I mean, it's two different studios, and you can't really expect the same thing from both. So
you can't expect more. What was it? It was I was listening to a podcast. These folks were talking about that it was somebody the same thing with Ezra I had seen on there, and they were like, This is the exact point in where people need to wake up and see that the villain wins. It was what was it? Fuck. It was Game Illuminati. They did Black Hokage said that shit. He was like, this is the point where you see that the villain wins, so y'all need to shut the fuck up. It was like all the stuff where people were like, you putting so much care into it. He's like, y'all still gonna see that movie? Like,
the only reason I'm gonna see it is just because it's a movie.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And
hopefully, I hope that they like actually switch him out. But I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not paying full price for it.
Supposedly, he did great. Supposedly that he killed it.
I doubt it.
From the reviews that they've been talking about now, because they don't come out till June, but the reviewers have been talking about it, and like they said, it's like the best. You know how they always say.
I don't trust a single reviewer out there, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Can't trust these folks.
Because honestly, to me, the most credible reviewers are YouTube reviewers. Other reviewers are the least credible people because like they say something is really good. Ant-Man. They say Ant-Man was amazing. Movie was absolutely terrible. It shouldn't have been made.
I feel like it depends. It depends though on where you're viewing the movie from. Because like if you're viewing,
like Ant-Man was objectively horrendous.
No, I'm talking about like it's some movies that we look back at and be like, damn, it wasn't that bad. Like people completely shat on Fantastic Four, but I enjoyed every single one of them. I didn't care about
Fantastic Four,
not the one with Michael B. Jordan, the one before originals.
Yeah, they're good, but like, I mean. You can't. I'm sorry. You can't make no excuse for this Ant-Man thing because the thing is,
I still haven't seen it, so I can't.
Because the thing is, it's not one of those movies where I went in blank. I was just like, I hope this is going to be a good movie, and I was like, yo, I fell asleep, and then my cousin fell asleep, and my girl fell asleep, and
we all fell asleep.
And then it's already been announced that it is one of the worst Marvel movies to ever come out. So everybody acknowledges the movie is trash. And the reviews are absolutely terrible. but the reviewer scores are good.
That's why I was. That's where I was saying from there's different perspectives because I feel like
I'm talking about the public. The public viewed it horrible.
Yeah, that's not.
And you can't. And the reason why I say you can't take what they say, they get paid for it.
Yeah, well, that's true. And I'm also thinking from a was it necessarily bad from like if you look at it from a movie perspective, like was it shot well? Was it like it wasn't shot well?
No.
Was the acting good?
No.
Nothing. There was nothing about it that was like, ooh, this is like that was low key.
It
nice.
looked like they grabbed. It looked like this. They had the picture on a green screen, put that in Word, took them, downsized them, and just copied and pasted them in there.
Oh hell no.
The colors were bad. Most of it was just like red, and the acting was, for some of them, bad, and for others, it was okay.
So
I will say, in Loki, I liked Jonathan Majors Kang. In this, I didn't like him because he seemed stupid, and also he paused a lot. There's one scene where like you can literally count to almost 20 before he says a word, and he just looks the whole time, and all he says, "When."
Bro was just looking. Nah, he was just really waiting to curb stomp his ass. That's the only thing he was thinking about the whole movie.
This was a flashback, so he never even met him yet.
Nah, bro been thinking about this since the flashback. he been waiting on this little nigga to get here. He said, all right, there's a man called Ant-Man coming through. I'm finna stomp his ass. What? That's why the curb stomp was there, because you stomp ants. So he was gonna stomp him.
I'm not gonna lie, like him beating Ant-Man was the only good thing in that movie. And he didn't even win, which doesn't make sense because he really shouldn't have won. But, they had to figure out something.
It is what it is.
But like, when you look at that movie objectively with everything in it, it's not good. Mm-hmm. And not even from like a fan perspective. It's just a bad movie altogether. They did nothing right.
Well, that's another one that I'm waiting on it to pop up on. Is it on Disney Plus yet?
It might be. I'm not sure.
Cause I got some jobs I got to catch up on.
I just watch it illegally, and I don't even promote watching stuff illegally like that most of the time.
I promote it. Fuck it.
Do it, bro. I'm not gonna tell you where to watch it illegally.
1, 2. I'm just playing. Y'all figure the rest of it out.
But yeah, hopefully they figure his stuff out soon.
Yeah. But it's hopefully they figure it out for him altogether, because dude's a hot he's a hot up and coming dude coming up. He's been around. But that's why I kept going. I was like, high up and coming, dude. I was just gonna keep it at hot, and then therefore you got the people in the comment section. Damn, I agree with you. Nah,
I will say, Jonathan Majors has like one facial expression that
he just smelled something bad. He's about to smell something bad.
No, what they put it beside what I saw was so racist, but very accurate. Planet of the Apes face.
I'm dead.
It's like he just looked like he
like
smelled
Caesar.
Yes. No, what's his name? Koba.
Oh God. They disrespectful for that. That one is a little racist. I would at least gave him Caesar.
Oh yeah, but no, yeah, that face that he
was
be
gonna hit him
making,
with the. We got a little touch.
I'm so excited for this fourth one coming out.
Oh, bro,
I'm just sad that he's dead. Mm-hmm. But I think it's with his son, but I'm not sure. But
it's gonna be good.
But no, yeah, that stank face he be making, I'm just like, bro, you gotta change it.
That's the face he needs to be making in the courtroom as they're
the
telling
whole
him
time.
as they're telling him that bullshit. Just sit there, he's just sit there looking, and he just starts swaying from side to side. It starts shadow boxing in the middle of the court. They're like, what's wrong with this man?
After the court hearing's over with, the judge just like
right out there. What if he starts walking like the dude? You know the dude on TikTok that be doing the little ape walk?
Yeah.
He just gets up and starts doing that.
He's like, Mr. Jonathan Majors.
He's like, give me all my. He's like, give me all my things back. Goes back to the PR team. He was like, bro, but now if he gets through all of that, I would love for him to talk his shit. If he gets through everything, all allegations, all that stuff, I want them to make it a bigger thing. I want them. But if the nigga if he did the shit, then lock his ass up, throw away the key. I don't care. But like I was like, that's where I stand by, because everything at the end of the day is like allegations.
Right.
We don't know anything for sure. But if they pull out all the evidence and hit him with the book, I can't do nothing for you, big dog. You gonna be making that face in jail.
Hey, he gonna run the jail at the end of it though.
On me, he will. Folks gonna be he was like, I didn't get swole for nothing. Start doing little head things. As soon as he walks in, they see him. R. Kelly walks up to him. R. Kelly, Tory Lanez, they all walk up to him.
He's just like, when Caesar was going down the line, just touching everybody's.
They were like, we thought you were the chosen one. That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me. The thing. We thought you were the chosen one. You were gonna make it. And he was like, no. What you saw in the movie is what I did to her.
Didn't he hit a chick in the movie?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't hit a chick.
I was like, damn, that was foreshadowing. Bro was aggressive.
But I think he threw something, but there was like a chick in there, but he didn't throw it at her.
This man, every time we take 2 steps forward in the black community, here we go. Allegations. You can't be hitting a white woman on the thing. Look, tired of it. I'm tired of us getting up and then getting taken right back down because of foolishness.
Because of white people. Which brings us to our next person. R.I.P. Jerry Springer.
R.I.P. to the goat of trash television.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I love Jerry Springer.
I do too.
He's honestly an American hero.
I'm fucking dead.
He's a national treasure.
He's like, who would you put up there? Is Maury and Jerry Springer? Who would you put up there?
Which one had the midgets fighting?
I don't remember.
I think it was Jerry Springer. I'm gonna have to go with Jerry Springer.
I'm dead.
No, what was it? Yes, it has to be Jerry Springer, because there is the one where the dude was up there and he was with his girl, and she was like, yeah, I brought you out here because I wanted to tell you something. He's like, okay, what's up? And then she was like, yeah, I'm a man. And he was like, what?
What you mean?
He was like, nah, this can't be. We had sex. She was like, yeah, well, why do you think I always turn the lights off?
Bro, that is so, I'm not gonna lie, that is so like discombobulating. I'm so like concerned yet interested on how the fuck did you get away with this shit, and how the person, you gotta be swinging the other way, big dog. Something ain't right, because he with the lights out.
Because the thing is, right?
Put out a flashlight on their ass.
Probably.
Look at their legs.
That's what Roger did.
That's hilarious.
Roger did
I did not. I thought that Roger had different orifices or something like that. He could just switch them.
No, he did that at one point.
That's hilarious.
But but no, I mean they were like, yeah, I tricked you, and then he was like, well, you're lying to me. He was like, nah, I still got a dick and everything.
He was like, watch, look at this.
And he was getting so mad, and I was getting mad with him, because dude was like, why are you so upset? Why don't you love me?
He's fighting the urge to take your life.
And they had to hold him back, and he was like, bro, you're just mad because I have a bigger dick than you. And I was like, this is amazing television.
Bro said, this is amazing television.
This is perfect cinema.
Bro, no, his shit is legendary. The stuff he's had on his show, the fights he's had on his show, and then it's so bad that it's like, bro, is this scripted?
I mean, it is, but
okay. I was like, some of that shit. I was like,
all of their stuff is all of them, like all that stuff is scripted to a certain degree. Like the stories are real, but they tell you before you go on to exaggerate, so it makes for good television. But like the stories are true. It's just that part.
Okay. Yeah. Jerry is a funny man, bro.
I just started thinking about, I think it was Maury, the little fat kid was talking to his mom and he slapped her in the face. Because he was like acting out or something, and she didn't know how to control him because she's a terrible mother. And so they're having a conversation, and he just looks at her. How do you like that, Mom? How do you like it when it happens to you? Let me talk.
Hey, what? What?
And then there was, I don't know, I to this day, I actually don't know if it's real or not. Like, I have no idea if it's actually from Maury or not. But the girl who was like, my favorite flavor of popsicle is dick.
My favorite flavor of popsicle is dick.
I remember that. My favorite popsicle is dick. She said it so strong. Bro, I be feeling like those talk show hosts from like Jerry Morey, who's the dude, Steve Wilkos.
Yeah, and
I can't think of anybody else, but I just know those three.
yeah.
But I know with those three, I just be feeling like when stuff like that pops off, I feel like they're questioning why they do what they do. Sometimes you can see it in their eyes.
I know they love it, bro. Now,
You know they get paid. Maury be looking he be looking like,
Moria is the only one that genuinely looks concerned sometimes, because he'll just be up there and he'll just like, man, what have I done?
bro, speaking like
Actually, with him, he be looking like he has the face of like he didn't tell these people to do anything. Like the studio told them to do it, and they're
He
just
has
like
no power.
They're just like waiting for his his reaction.
Maury, he'll be sitting there and like trying to talk them through it. Everybody else be like, I'm just gonna back up and do y'all thing. Do your thing. Everybody else be like, oh, well, there they go. And then here go Maury. He's like, Quanisha, listen. He's like, listen, you have to listen. And then he's like talking about, here she go in the background. He's like, Quanisha. He's like, Jerome, stay back.
Look here, you gotta listen.
You gotta listen. You gotta listen. He's like, we're gonna bring. What was the one with the lady who had a phobia of like the weird shit? She was like scared of like birds or something.
No, it was something weirder than birds.
What was it? Was it pie? It was something weird.
It was
on
something.
that level.
It was something odd, like string or something.
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was something
It was
odd.
something super weird, and they brought it.
He trifling. He
He was like, all right, well, look here, we're about to bring something out for you. Just stay calm. Brought the thing out. She's
bro. He be looking like I'm too old for this shit. Like that's how Maury be looking. He looked over at her as she freaked out, and he looked like, bro, get her off my fucking set now. Get her off. I'm tired of this.
I really wonder when he like goes home or like in the middle of the drive, does he just like question his life?
Bro, nah, he saw Spade look at his bank account and was like, well, it's a good day.
He'd be questioning his life, and then after he looks at his bank account, it's worth it.
He was like, well, yeah. He got the security guards on deck, so he's like, I'm safe regardless.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, because like part of it is fake, and like some people do genuinely get mad, but to me, like if you're really mad, you would knock out one of those security guards. I don't think I've seen anybody attack the security guards before.
Nah, they be instantly just energy straight towards whoever it is.
Yeah,
Which is good.
well, I mean, yeah, but definitely, yeah, those shows are amazing, and anybody who has a problem with them, you're probably a loser. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, that's the crazy. I've been seeing. So like, I was like to get into that about the people having problems with it.
Oh, we're about to talk about the losers. Okay.
Oh yeah. So on Twitter is an amazing thing. Nah, I get something a little bit, but Twitter is an amazing thing.
Twitter
guys.
is a cesspool.
It's hilarious because the day he died, there was a lot of people. Like the black community was like the biggest community that was like heard about it, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, like we lost one of us." And mind you, I get where they're coming from because we all grew up seeing his show, and it's hilarious. But it brought up the other topic on the other side, which I was like, you know what? I see that. I see where y'all coming from, but it's just not. I didn't take it that deep, but they were taking it to the extent of these shows, especially like one like his as well, was one of the ones that put us a step back from the media standpoint. Like why people think that we're the way we are is because of shit like that.
I mean, no.
I mean, it depends on who's watching.
Because the reason I say no is because they decided to go on there.
True.
And they told them, hey, you don't act this way. They have the decision of if they want to do that or not. Those people are the reason that, people might see other people that way. But it's not his fault.
Crazy
It's
part,
just his show.
he took accountability for it.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I was.
But taking accountability for it is not you accept. Like, people take accountability for things all the time because society wants them to. But like, just because you do that doesn't mean that it's actually on you.
Yeah.
It's on the people that decide to go onto your show.
It was the way he did it, because he was in an interview. I think it was on Dish. I forgot the full name of the radio station he was on. But he was in them. I don't know if you've seen the clip, but it was like
I thought you were talking about the
Dish Network. It was, I don't remember what channel, but it was on Dish.
I was like, that's not descriptive, my guy.
Nah, he was on like the late night, like
One of the late night
one of
shows.
the late night radio shows that pop on like cable. And he was on that and he was talking and he was like, yeah, I just want to, he was basically just being straight up. Everybody else was taking him like he was joking around, but he was dead serious. And nobody was taking him seriously. He was like, I apologize. He was like, my show has put a lot of, like, put the community back. He said, I wanted to apologize for that, because some of the stuff that I guess he did in the past was like negative towards the black community. And so he was like, I don't think anybody asked him about it. He just brought it up and they were like, oh, so, whatever, so. And this dude was looking dead at the camera. He was like, and just looked. And I was like, damn.
But I mean, because the other thing too, I don't really care about people's apologies if they don't change their behavior. His show was still going on.
He probably knew. That's what they were saying in the conversation. He probably knew that he was going out soon and he needed to repent for what he did beforehand. And I was like, damn, that's crazy, because he looked about the same age as, I guess, where he ended.
Well, he had cancer, and so he died from cancer.
Yeah.
But no, that's not why. Because when I know what you're talking about. I don't think that was this year.
Yeah, I don't
because he got cancer early this year. That's the reason he passed.
So yeah.
So it can't be from that.
Nah, and
like he might have just felt that way. But I mean, like, there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do.
Because I mean, those people chose to be on there. So if you choose to be on there, it is what it is. It's like people getting mad at whatever her name is that does the paternity court, because it makes people look, typically there's only black people on there.
It's about Judge Judy.
No, not Judge Judy. She doesn't do paternity court.
The black lady. Yeah, I know you're talking about. I forgot her name.
It's like people being mad at her because of how that be making black people look. Like, you can't be mad at her for that. Those people go on there.
I mean, you could say the same thing towards Fresh and Fit at that point. If we put it that, we can do the same thing with them, because it's like, the type of demographic that you're bringing in, and then we can't necessarily be mad at the people on there for being dumb. That's just who you bring on.
No, because they purposely get them. That's the difference. They don't
purposely grab the same type of individuals, because we only see the same type of individuals go on Maury and like Steve Wilkos and
a lot of those people Jerry. Call in for that, and it's different if you reach out to them and they accept you. But if, like, Fresh and Fit, like, they get women and they get dummies to come on there.
They get the dummies.
So like it's kind, and also the thing too is, like, they purposely get women to, like, degrade them a little bit. So it's a little bit different with that dynamic than, like, say, because even if they do reach out to some people, like, typically those people branch from all sources of being stupid. So, like, it's kind of fair, I guess.
I always was like, crazy when I was younger. I used to want to go up Maury. I don't know why, but I was like, I want to be on there. It seems like a good time.
I mean, they have some, because, like, the things that pop off are, like, people acting crazy, but they do have a lot of stuff on there where people aren't doing that. Especially on Maury, they have, like political discussions and things like that. So they actually have, like, other things that they do. And I don't really think that they do some of, like, the stuff that they used to do. I don't think they really do that currently. I think most of that is just old stuff.
Yeah, I seen that political stuff. I think on Jerry's show he had this family. I don't know if it was on Maury or Jerry, but I know it was this like a white couple back in the 90s, like a white family and like a black family. And then he was, like, trying to do the race thing, like, have, like, conversation, like, open up the conversation for the floor. And it was, like, strictly, like, articulate people. Like, they were talking about what they, like, I don't like being treated like this or something like this. And then it was other side, not, like, being, talking about their side. And it was an interesting little discussion. But then I think one of them brought the KKK on, or somebody from the KKK and brought it there. It was like why they hated people, and it was like, yo, this was like unhinged.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I actually find that stuff kind of interesting. That's why I like the Gideon video where he went to go talk to like the KKK, even though he couldn't speak to like the leader.
Yeah.
To like understand the reasons as to why they think, like how they think and stuff like that. And actually, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I was telling my coworker we were having the race talk about it, and he was like, because he went to Ole Miss, he was talking about how there was a law that slavery was still like legal or something like that to like 2013 in Mississippi, and like they just never changed the law. Like of course around the world it was illegal, but as far as in Mississippi, it was
around the world it's not illegal.
Well, I was talking about as far as, well, never mind. We wouldn't know because 2013, Mississippi just finally changed their shit.
We still have child slaves in other places.
I was
so
okay,
like
we know
slavery,
that part.
slavery.
I was talking about the race.
Are you talking
slavery.
about like in America?
Yeah.
Okay, in America.
Yeah, in America.
Because you said around the world.
Oh no. We know. We know about that part.
But yeah, slavery is a thing in a lot of different places. But I mean, there are actually a lot of laws that are like that.
Yeah.
Because socially, we're like, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. But there are a lot of laws that we don't realize we still have that just haven't been canceled yet. And then when we realize, like, oh, damn, we should probably get rid of that.
Ooh. Bro, that's the craziest thing because what if somebody knew all the rules? Like you mess around with
There's just a random plantation. And he's like, y'all didn't get rid of it.
Y'all didn't get rid of it. He's like, it's a part of the law. Police pull up and he just got some slaves on the rear.
He pulls the thing out. There's the law right here.
There's the law right here. So what you gonna do about it? And he's like, they're like, well, we can't do that. He said, can't do nothing about it.
Just imagine you have these people's faces and they're looking at the police for safety and they're like, oh my gosh, they finally found us. They can save us. And then they look at the slaves and they're like, the law's the law. I'm sorry.
Bro, I'd be sick.
It's like they just pull, I'm sorry, little one. And they just leave.
Just walk. I'm sorry, little one. And he just walks up to him, gives him a hug. He walks away. He's like, what? Bro, nah, I'd be sick. I'd be sick as fuck.
I'd be like, bro, please.
Bro, please. Bro, imagine if you got, and then you just got some random, like your homie down the street. He just jogging, going for a random jog. He see you out here just working hard. He's like, oh, bro, you got into yard work? And he's like, no, bro, I'm a slave. And he was like, what?
He's like, can't you just go home? No, bro, he got these collars on us. He's like, oh, well, good luck, I guess.
He said, bro, he said, bro, that can't be right. He's like, bro, you tweaking. And then he's like, bro, no, just pull up your phone right now.
No, he's just like, nah, I don't believe you. Dude comes out, he has a net. He's like, oh, we got another one.
We got another one. He's like, hey.
He's like, I'll come back to save you. He never comes back.
Just never comes back, bro. It's like, you might want to switch your route, big dog. You might want to switch your route in the morning because that's how I got caught.
Let's want some get out stuff.
Bro, that shit's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, there's actually a lot of laws that are like that like we have as a thing, and we just forgot to get rid of it but technically they're I believe they're called dead bills or something like that. So like it's no longer in effect that they just haven't like fully ended it because paperwork and people forget.
There's a lot of weird laws out there. Like you can't walk outside with this in your hand or something like that. I forgot. It's some in Texas that are like wild that I seen on TikTok, and I was like, this doesn't even make sense.
Oh yeah, they make laws for a whole bunch of weird shit.
Like somebody was bored, or somebody was bored one day and wrote up a bunch of shit and went to Congress and was like, let me present this.
There's actually, this is in New Mexico though. This couple trying to get them to pass a law that makes incest legal.
See,
because
what
crazy story? How much time we got?
It's 3:16. We started at like 2:30.
Okay.
So yeah, guess time.
Okay. So this woman had a child young, and she decided to give it up for adoption.
Right.
He got adopted. and then years later she found him, and they reconnected.
Is that black couple that I seen on the TikTok?
Different one.
Different one.
Yeah, different one.
Oh,
They're
God.
Hispanic.
Oh.
But yes, that one, disgusting. Why my people do that? I was like, bro, you want to talk about putting us back?
You want to talk about putting us back? Oh, God. Oh,
But
God. All right.
that's for the white people. Anyways, I love you, white people.
Face in the comment section, bro.
What I do?
He's like, bro, I'm not with my cousin. I'm with my sister. Get it right. I just fucking with y'all.
But nah, so she met back up with him, and they had their whole thing or whatever. And then she was just like, yeah, I like you. And he was like, I like you too. And then she's like, nah, I like you. He's like, oh, me too. So then they just got into a relationship, fucking and everything. That's his mom, by the way. So he's like 19 and she's like in her 30s, mid 30s or something like that. Mid 30s going to like 40s or whatever. She looks old. This is probably what incest does to you. I'm not sure. But so now they're trying to get people to sign a petition because over in New Mexico, incest is illegal, which is weird that it's not illegal in every like state, because it is legal in certain states in America.
It's not even surprising because they were doing that shit for years. This shit like being like incest was really that's what keeping it in the family came from.
I'm not gonna lie, all right?
Not gonna lie, I saw my cousin one time. And
No, I'm not gonna say that. In those places where like the population is like super low, I can understand it. Because like there's nobody else
You
around
have no
you.
choices.
you have no options.
Oh, still look good.
Okay, cool. It's still going.
All right.
You have no options. There's miles of road going at each direction. I guess your sister looked good that one day,
Bro, but then and then you get damn. That's the same way in those like little dirt towns,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Stuff like that. I mean, like, because like, yeah, it's weird.
I was thinking about countries, but then I started thinking about towns in the United States where they're just small and like populations.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Here,
Oh.
in the United States, where like it's just really small places and there's not a lot of people and
Y'all
stuff like
still
that.
got internet and nasty niggas.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, like, regardless of what it is, you are absolutely disgusting.
You can
human
see
being.
that Tracy's 5 miles away in your area.
You just don't want to walk.
You just don't want to walk.
Get on your horse.
Get on your fucking tractor.
I'm not gonna lie. You gotta have a lot of riz to pull up on a girl on a horse.
Bro, I feel like the horse will speak for you. At that point, you pull up on a horse and you shooting your shot. I'm pretty sure
She gotta give it up.
say yes.
She gotta give it up, bro.
Bro, different. Bro, pulled up old timey.
Pull up on a horse.
Pulled up on a horse, man. Like what you finna? You finna say no? You pulled up like if a girl pulled up on me and the horse, and my girl was like, pull up on me, My Little Pony.
Yeah, you just like,
You like what's it? The hell?
what is that? Just imagine if you do like a DoorDash. And you know they put it like on foot, and you're like, dang, they walking fast,
Bro, that's how I be feeling when you ever like ordered the stuff and then you look at it and then they say they're on the bike. I instantly get concerned.
Yeah,
I instantly get concerned. I'm like, is my food gonna be sweaty? I don't know if you're on a bicycle. I don't know if you're on a regular bike.
and that one time that y'all ordered that food and you said it was on a bike, yeah, it wasn't on a bike. They were in a car.
See, that's weird.
Yeah. And we passed somebody on a bike that had food from the place that you guys were going to, and we thought it was them. It wasn't. When we got there back, because we went to go get food, when we got back, they were getting out the car. So I was like, that's odd. Maybe they were on the bike and they were like, I'm tired.
Cause somebody just picked them up.
Because y'all food was taking a long time.
Bro hit him with, bro was like, caught a flat on his tire. He had to change his tire real quick on the bike.
Yeah, I mean, y'all's food was taking a long time. That's probably what it was.
It was a long time that day. I just thought about it.
Yeah. But nah, I mean, but yeah, so they're trying to get people to sign a petition to make incest legal so that they can get married. And you know what? I would sign it.
What do you do at that point? What do you do if you've been going like years? You had a couple kids. Because I know situations like that. I know. I don't know them personally, but I've heard situations like that with people's families where like they just mess around and they just got together, had a couple of kids, found out years later
That they
through
were
like
related.
ancestry that they're like second cousins. Or
Oh,
something.
not even just that. I found there's some stories where like, you know, people meet up and they end up getting together, having a kid, and then find out they have the same dad.
Bro.
They have the same dad, different moms.
So now it was like when you have a kid for somebody, it's I need to get my like they're pushing for we need to get kid tested so I know it's mine. Now we're gonna be like I need to make sure before we start they need to get you tested, not for STDs, bitch. I need to make sure
I need to know your ancestry.
You know, make sure we got the same granddaddy.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, and it happens a lot with like people who like the dads that are like hoes that have multiple baby mamas and stuff like that. They end up like their kids end up doing stuff with their other kids without ever knowing. And part of that is on the parents because they decide to purposely keep that from them. They're just like, yeah, don't go, stay away from the Hendersons. And they never explain why to stay away from the Hendersons. And you're just like, I wonder what the Hendersons are so bad about. Damn, she looking kind of fine.
Yeah, you do bringing up a real people are having fever dreams right now thinking about this shit. If y'all listening right now and your parents have told you this shit, you should do some research.
Oh, absolutely. And the unfortunate thing is apparently this happens a lot in the Black community where like they're just like, hey, stay away from these people over here. But they never explain why. And it's always the mother.
We're always hush hush.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
But I mean, I understand it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, you simply saying stay away from this family does not help your child stay away from this family. They're gonna want to go to that family because you told them not to. And now look at you. Like they fucking their sister.
We've been a big in-house, like keep it in-house type of community for years. Mm-hmm. And then now I'm starting to look back at it. Like our generation and the generation of like our parents' generation that have been more the people that have kind of spread away from that, a little bit more open in how they communicate about things. Mm-hmm. But they're still the folks that kind of screwed us over to where we're like, we can't talk about everything. Can't talk about everything to the point, but we're breaking out of that now with our children to be more open about certain things. But I was talking to my nana and I was like, this is kind of the way she is. And I talked to my nana on my mom's side, my grandma on my dad's side. And I was comparing the two to see how they communicate. And I was like, certain things were taboo back in the day and it makes sense why. Because if you had a grandparent that just straight out of slavery, and during that time, anytime there was something wrong with a kid, whether it be mental, physical, whatever was going on with them, they couldn't say shit. Couldn't say nothing because then you'll be deemed as bad goods. And they'll fuck you up. And so when it came down to the kids, when those slaves had kids, they ended up being free. They telling the kids the same thing. Saying, keep it in the house. Whatever happened between so and so, we don't talk about that because that's weird. And then it kept going on to the point where we just don't talk about. We try to keep everything in house, and I'm like, nah, you need to talk about this. This is how people getting fucked up.
Well, I mean, you know, part of it too is just like if you don't know how to talk about it, you just say don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that's you can't really expect because like there's not everything that needs to be talked about.
Yeah,
nothing really needs to be talked about that much in like complete detail. It just needs to be talked about enough to understand it.
Yeah, like you ain't got like with nitty gritty.
Right, well, like the instance of what I was saying. If you're just saying stay away from the Hendersons, be like, your dad was a hoe and we don't like that family because that's his new family. That's all you have to do. Just stay with. That's it.
That's his new family.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a harsh thing, but like it is what it, and it keeps them from wondering why they can't go over there because now they know.
I feel like if you tell them you can't go over there anyway, that's coming off a hateful spirit. Like obviously you pissed off, but
well, I mean, obviously, you're bitter about it, but like,
you guys, it's like a certain point. That's your child's siblings. You can separate them and keep them away from each other. But I feel like that's just being a spiteful, evil individual.
I mean, it happens all the time. Still today, I mean, it happens all the time.
Stop it. Get some help.
But I mean, they can't help it because all 5 of these women decided to have children with one dude.
Nah, it's not they can't help it. They can't help it.
Oh, no. Yeah. They can help that. I'm talking about they can't help the jealousy because and the regret of their dumb decisions. But like, they can definitely help not having sex with all the same dude.
Nah, I was talking about like, yeah, you can't help the jealousy because that's fucked up. Your son wants to go hang with his brother, and you're like, I don't fuck with that.
Fuck
hoe.
your brother.
Like, fuck your brother and that hoe over there because your dad can't keep it in his pants. You looking at your dad like, nigga.
And the thing too is like that even happens with like healthy like breakup, I guess. Not really healthy, but like if they had a child and like they broke up and the father starts a new family and he wants to see his kid, well, your kid's going to be around your new wife or girlfriend, and the mother of your child is like, nah, she can't. And then she gets upset and then like tries to make it to where like you can't see them and stuff like that because she's upset that you're happy with somebody else. And I think that is incredibly wrong, and it doesn't make sense either.
It's
because
crazy.
like when your kid leaves you to be with the dad, he's going to be around her. You just don't want to see her, which is weird.
And then you grow up, and then what hurts even more is when you like realize that a lot of when the whole stereotype with the dad walking away from the home, especially in our community, about oh yeah, when he go get some milk and never came back. Like when you start finding out there are more stories, like we're not
Where they couldn't come back.
Yes,
and not that they didn't want to come back.
Just couldn't. It's because your baby mom or your girlfriend at the time is just being like, oh, you don't want me, but keeping your kid away from you.
Yeah,
and during that time, they couldn't do shit about it.
They still can't do shit about it today.
It's better. You got more stuff to fight with now, but it's still shitty.
Barely.
That shit is wild. Because then it's like,
because I mean, if we're talking about like laws that still haven't changed, like a lot of that stuff still hasn't changed because it's still in favor of like women. And like part of it I understand because they're natural like caretakers, but the other part of it is like it's really fucked up. Like for instance, there was a dude who got taken advantage of by his teacher when he was 13. She had a child by him. When he became 24, I think, he had to pay child support, and he almost went to jail for back pay from when he was 13 till current, and he had to pay all of that. Now, mind you, he didn't know he had a kid until they sent that letter to him when he was 20-something. And so he is still currently fighting, hey, I was taken advantage of. I shouldn't have to pay child support for a kid that I never knew about. And yeah, he's still paying for that.
Yeah, nah. I would have looked at them. Been in the jail. Does that make sense to you? That would have been the first thing I would have said. I would have looked at the judge and looked at the
He's
jury.
been to court.
I would have been the jury. And my as soon as my lawyer started saying some bullshit, I would look at them and be like, when they put me on the stand, sir, how do you feel? I'm like, can I speak freely? Like permission to speak freely, Your Honor. And they're like, I'm like, nah, I want you to look at this now. You look down at it.
Where's the logic?
I was like, where is the logic in it? Well, so I'm like, if I was never, there was no communication and things like this, why? And I was like, did I have permission to cuss?
Because like the thing that's crazy, he is actually a victim of SA.
I was like, bro,
but and he has to pay for it, and like it's crazy, and like the one that happened more recently with the kid and the person who I don't, she wasn't a teacher, she was just like an adult.
Yeah.
That they knew.
Oh yeah, the teacher and the middle school student, the one that that
got her pregnant.
Yeah, he got her pregnant, and then she ended up getting off.
Yeah.
He kept custody.
Yes. And he's gonna have to pay child support when he becomes an adult.
That shit's wild. It's just, I feel like common sense ain't common anymore. Well, like it was never really. It's gotten better. I'll give it to him.
And the thing that's crazy is that's been happening for a minute.
And folks are just like looking at it like, makes sense.
Yeah. And crazy thing, if it was a dude that did it to a girl, he'd be in jail and probably killed because they beat them boys up.
This is why being a hoe ain't worth it sometimes, y'all. Y'all gotta get right because they catching us left and right. They catching us, and It's getting we already been on folks about women talking about y'all can't be hoe. I'm like, y'all gotta realize y'all ain't safe. Y'all ain't safe. If shit like this happens to you, you can't do nothing but sit here and be like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Especially if you have money.
Damn, that shit crazy. Y'all got
It's over with.
It's dangerous out here in these streets, and that's been going on for years. Whether you got money, you don't got money. If you don't got money out here and you out here wilding, more power to you.
Yeah, you'll be like that one dude with the 7.
All right, bro, don't give a fuck, and he's still going strong,
He
bro.
said, "Catch me, I'm gonna have more too."
He said, "Catch me, nigga, you go to jail. You go to prison. You deserve it a little bit, all the way bit. I ain't gonna lie."
Oh yeah, but I mean, you know, it's crazy that like there's so many cases where like all of these fathers wish they could have been in their kids' lives, but like they were either legally not able to, or because the mother just wouldn't allow them to be.
And then you have sons that grow up and they only grew up in a single parent household with no father figures like that. And they might have had one, but they didn't have the one that they probably needed.
Yeah.
And
There's
do nothing about it.
There's a dude on YouTube. He's cool. He's a part of the Red Pill stuff, but he's not like he's more leveled than most of them, called a different perspective. I think I've shown you him before.
Yeah, I think,
Light skinned dude with a beard.
I think I see,
Bald.
yeah.
He's cool. Shout out to you. He talks a lot about how, you know, when he grew up without his father. Fortunately for him, he had other people that were father figures for him, like his grandfather and stuff like that. But he always grew up, I think he said he grew up hating his father until later he found out that his mother lied about his father and was like, she wouldn't allow him to be in her life because she was upset that he moved on and stuff like that. And so that caused some amount of resentment for his mother instead of his father. And there are a lot of cases like that.
I wonder if what if your grandkids, what if your children like found out about some stuff like that? Like if you were the child in that position and you find out that your grandma did your father or your or somebody on whichever side did your mom and your dad wrong and told them that the dad was like a piece of shit and dude just left.
Yeah.
And it was like, we gave you no reasoning basically, and then like left it. And then you find out as a grandkid later on about shit like this. And then you're like, I wonder. And you still sit there and be like, I wonder.
Yeah, because I think the only reason he knew is because I think he met his dad later. And his dad explained everything to him. Like, you know, I wanted to be like in your life, but like I couldn't because of your mother.
And that's a crazy situation because I was like, as that person's child, if you find some shit out like that, like what do you do? What do you like? How do you respond? Because you don't know the full thing. You don't want to open up a can of worms because it's so ingrained in your mind to be like, well, that happened a long time ago, and they seem like they're past it. So it's like, do you as that child open up that book, or do you just let that shit slide? Because I know there's a lot of kids out here who are probably like, damn, I want to know my granddad, or I want to know the other side or whatever, but I just don't know that side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in what I was saying, there's a lot of like cases where like they grow resentment towards the people that lied to them because I'm like, you deceived them their entire life for no reason other than your own like hate. You know, so you caused different amounts of like hate for your child that shouldn't have needed to be there, or for your grandkid that shouldn't have needed to be there, and all this other stuff.
Now I got everybody growing up thinking that this dude is a piece of shit.
Meanwhile, he's an upstanding citizen.
The man out here got a good job. He could probably get you hella connections.
Yeah.
he really misses his family. He's like, well, I let this go a long time ago, unfortunately. But he keeps tabs on everybody. He knows the whole family.
Yeah, and you know, and the problem too is like, when they say, well, why didn't you try harder to come back to my life and stuff like that? And like at a certain point, you got to understand, like, you can't sometimes, because like you can try as hard as you want to, but like at a certain point, like if they make it so difficult, sometimes the best thing is to just wait it out until you're older, because then you won't have to worry about like, you know, the mother or whatever. Because I think that's kind of what dude waited for, was like him to reach out or try to find him when he became like an adult so that they could have the conversation.
Yeah, and that's the 50% chance.
Which sucks too, because you can die in between that time.
You could, or you'll fuck around and have a child that's so like that's pushed you at the back of their head that they don't even care to do it anymore.
Sure.
And the only time that they might even think about it is if their kids mention something. But off of that, their kids might see your reaction, and then they be like, I ain't worried about it. I have both my parents in my life, and then I have a set of grandparents that are there. So it's like, do I really care to go meet another person?
Yeah.
Like, do I really care for it? But then you got those folks that'll still push that envelope and see what happens.
Yeah, because there was one story that was like that, and they only met him because of their children, and he actively kept trying to form a relationship with his son because he was never able to be around him. And I think they eventually went to therapy and stuff like that, and they became friends afterwards.
That's good. That's good. It would be fucked up. You realize you like, I've never seen Grandpa. And then next thing you know, you reach out to him and you're like, damn, he was shitty. I didn't know. You're like, she was right. Like, I thought she was lying. I thought she was one of these other hoes out here lying on him.
But it's better to know than to not know too.
That is true. It's better to know than not know.
I mean, it's just people need to stop depriving their children of these things, because a lot of, especially with like the fathers, that's like the most important thing for a child's development is to have both parents. It statistically fucks them up not having both parents in the household.
Hell, and then
so like purposely disadvantaging your child just because of your own petty reasons is like severely fucked up.
And then you're not instilling in the young men how to actually. You get frustrated with the young men nowadays because they don't know how to treat women. Well, they didn't. You didn't teach them. It's like you evidently didn't teach them how to treat a woman, and then they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to be husbands. They don't know how to be boyfriends. They don't know how to be these certain things. So when they get into this situation and shit hits the fan, they're only worried about what they know, and what they lost out on doesn't even equate or matter to them.
Yeah.
At that point. So be honest with your children, kids. Be honest with your kids.
Yeah. I mean, just because they're kids doesn't mean you can't be, they're children, but if you take the time, they'll actually understand. They're stupid, but like they'll understand though.
Especially if you got an adult kid at this point, you might as well just like you're older now. You ain't gonna live forever. You might as well come clean. Cause it's like that with the bringing it back full circle to like the court shows and like stuff on like Jerry Springer and all them. And when you have the mom finally open up about something and you see what it is, it's like that might be an ugly situation, but that promotes growth.
Yeah,
it promotes growth.
Like crazy. Before we end, have you seen the one? I think it was Moria. I don't remember where. They brought this whole family over, and like the guy was never able to be around his children because the mother wouldn't let him, because she told all of the girls that he abused them, sexually abused them.
Yeah, I did see that.
And they found out that like everything she said was a lie, and she just did it for no reason. And then her answer to him was, "Why didn't you fight harder? If you knew the truth, why didn't you fight harder?" And I was like, "Bitch, you're the one that lied. What do you want him to do? Try harder,
bro." It's like where she was like, "Here's the accountability. Push that shit to the side." She's like, "Yeah, I fucked up. No, I ain't fucked up.
Why didn't you try?
Why didn't you the man?"
She was like, "Why didn't you care about your kids enough to try harder?" What?
Bitch, you called the cops on me. What you talking about? Every time I tried, you threatened the police. That shit's crazy.
Delusion, bro.
Delusion. Well, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why we're here to let y'all know.
To bring you a dose of reality.
Reality is the best thing sometimes. And it's cool to be delusional until you got to tell the truth.
Nah, don't be delusional. When you're delusional, it takes a minute for you to get back to reality. Just live in reality.
Just live in reality, because you don't want You don't want shit to pop up because your laundry will get overturned one day. It don't matter when. You would hate to be in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Going to jail.
Yeah. Going to jail, or you're having all of a sudden the relationship you were the closest. You and your son or your daughter, y'all were the best of friends. Next thing you know, you reveal some information 20 years later.
Mm-hmm. Or not even just your relatives. There are cases where like people have been friends for like multiple years, and later when they're like in their 50s, found out that one of them was smashing the other one's girl. Now what do you do?
Now what do you do? It's like, all right, because then at that point you're tired. You're not fully old, but like you're like, I'm tired, and you're stuck in your ways. So at that point, you becoming like the rest of the stupid people. Because imagine you just walk up to your mom and you're like, yeah, so why haven't I seen my grandpa? And he's like, and like when he comes around and say he never did all these things and all this stuff, she's like, well,
I don't know. You want to go find him?
You want to go find him, and then we find him. He's like, yeah, so she was lying.
And the shit be crazy too, because sometimes they be down the street.
Nigga. The dude been in the city the whole time.
Yeah,
he been chilling.
They've been literally a block away.
You grew up with your cousin.
You've been growing up looking at the dude, not knowing that y'all were relatives.
Bro was your high school teacher.
He was your gym coach.
Bro, not the gym coach. That shit would be hilarious.
And then when you go meet him, he's like, look, the reason I pushed you so hard as your gym coach is because I knew you were my son. I had to make sure you were a winner.
Nigga, what? Bro, I would be flabbergasted. I would be astonished. On that note. That's a lot to think about.
I'm going to leave you with a lot to think about today.
Leave you with a lot to think about. Make some phone calls after this. All of a sudden, it's like, hey, did you, you might want to go, you might want to check in on that situation we talked about.
If this stuff sounds a little bit too close to home, it is. Go check on it.
Go check on it. Go uncover some dirt and turn your family, especially in the black community. I'm looking at the camera for this one. For the black community, uncover them stones, boys and girls. Uncover them. Just do it. Say fuck it, because half the time you're not in the house anymore. Especially if you're at the age we're at. You might be at the house. You might not be at the house. But just go home, drop a bomb on their ass and leave.
Just drop a bomb. Make them frantic.
Just come out of nowhere and be like, I know the truth. No, what are you talking about?
I know what you've been lying about, and then just leave.
I know cousin Richard's my daddy. What?
You've been calling him your friend for years. That's my father.
That's my father. Yeah, I've been hanging out at 9:00 for the past 27 years.
I'm 27.
I'm 27, man. Don't fucking lie to me. That's my daddy. He looked just like me. He looked just like me. That ain't my uncle, bitch. Stop lying. And that's been another installment of Down with the Get Down, y'all. We appreciate y'all coming through for, what is this episode? We just dropped 25, so it's 26. Yeah. Episode 26 of Down with the Get Down. If you see us on whatever you're listening platforms, rate us 5 stars on all of that. It helps us on the algorithm. Helps us move up to gain new listeners and all those good things. Like you guys, we appreciate you coming through. And go ahead and like, share.
Well, actually, one quick thing. Pretty soon we're gonna be making an Instagram, so we'll be adding that in there too.
Yeah.
But if you're down with the Get Down, go ahead and subscribe.